Hello, my friends. Are you looking to learn a little bit more about music so that you can amp up your music game? Maybe you're like me who was searching for answers, not able to really learn how to play properly. I was able to eventually meet my teacher, and a lot of what I learned from him, I am putting into this website. It's called philc.net, Phil with two L's, c.net. If you come over to the website real quick, I immediately dunk you into some music theory. The music theory tutor helps you understand what are the notes in each major scale. So if you click on the key of C, you can see the notes in not only the C major scale, but also the natural minor scale of C. So you do know, some of you do know that the sixth note of E flat is C, and therefore the notes in the natural C minor scale will be the notes in E flat, which are the notes that are presented here. But things like that, they evaded me for so long, I didn't have any way of knowing. But now, in this app, all you need to do is select from a drop down the key that you want to study. If you want to study a key of E, there's the E major scale. And if you're on a desktop, you can blow this up real big so that you can see it. And those are the notes in the E major scale. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D. Those are the notes in the natural E minor scale. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, which are the notes in the G major scale. So this saves a lot of energy for those who do not know the theory. You can learn a whole lot on this website. If you scroll down, I've also provided the diatonic chords in every key. So in the key of E, you have number one being E major, number two F sharp minor, number three G sharp minor, number four A major, so on and so forth, right? And then I've also included, for those of you who are learning on my system, which relies heavily on the 145, knowing that on all the keys, well, now you don't need to do much searching. All you do is up here, select what key you're on. Let's say you're on the key of F. Well, I already know the key of F. The 145 is going to be F major, B flat major, and C. But for those who don't know, you can just come on down here and it's F major, B flat major, and C major. In addition, on this site, I've also included a tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm teaching my nephew the rudiments of music, and I decided to include that because it's quite comprehensive, even though it's short. I teach in this series, I teach you everything about the scales, the chords, and just some practical tips in learning. So you might want to watch that as well. Okay. And in addition to that, down here, I have an interactive piano and music tutor. This is extremely helpful for beginners because for beginners, you need to understand the formula for the major scale, but you also want to transcend that and get to the point where you know this without having to calculate stuff. So you know the notes in the key of C are C. You got to press that twice. So anytime you come in here, as it says, the next app will work only on a desktop computer. Press twice on first use. So on your first use, you got to press a key twice. Otherwise, it just continues. So press it twice. Okay, so on the key of C, if you hit the drop down, it shows you, and then back to C at the top for the notes in the key of C. You can also choose the waveform if you want like a square, which is quite sharp. If you want a sawtooth, and I'm glad I have this volume down because it would be quite noisy, as you can see. So I like the sign. The triangle, it's not bad, but I like the sign, so it's a bit softer. So this helps you. Let's say you just want to give yourself a quick lesson. Let me see if I remember. So up here, let me see if I remember the notes. You could give yourself a mental exercise, and then coming down here, this solidifies it. See, so on the key of D, all the notes are yellow, and then back to D. If you went to G, and then back. So if you have a laptop, you know, or you have one of those devices that enables you point and click, you can use this. So it gives you a way of learning on your own, because once you know these notes and you've also watched my video which advises you about the keys, and if you need additional insights, you can also go all the way down and you can get additional tutorials over here at this link. At this link, I have what I call the piano gym. So you can just grab this, starting price $5. So I make it very affordable for anyone who, wants to learn music. It's very, very affordable. You can just begin your journey. Even without a dime, you can just get on this page, begin your journey. Trust me when I tell you, it's great to be able to play, all the fancy stuff, but knowing the theory behind it is going to take you further, because you're going to understand when and how to apply pressure. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know how to take things up a notch. You are going to know how to better control your playing. You're going to be able to make your playing very flavorful. For example, I could go from playing on the key of C to the key of F sharp to the key of G sharp and making it melodic and pleasing, to change from one key to another. But you won't know how to do that if you don't know your keys, and you will always be limited, just like I was, playing on all the white notes. No, which is why I have this site here for you to go through all the content and get good. Like key of B used to terrify me. Here it is, right there, key of B. You can save yourself so much time and effort, even if you're just doing mental exercises. Mental exercises. B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, such and such. This is how I would love you to use this tool. And at the end of the day, you will learn the pesky keys. This is A sharp or B flat. B flat and B were the worst. The other cool thing is you can move the octave down, so it goes lower. So this is not to replace your keyboard, but this is to help you master the scales, the notes in all the 12. Once you've mastered the notes in all the 12, you then begin applying yourself. You now go back over here, right? You now go back over here and you begin to master the diatonic chords in every key, right? You got to know the majors and the minors, and the 7 is the diminished. So you either got a major or minor or diminished on every key. You got to know those, know your 1, 4, 5s, and just continue learning with me by going to the piano gym. And this will take you a lot further ahead, because I don't just stress learning the like songs. I know a lot of times people just want to jump into songs, and while that is okay, I would recommend knowing the scales, knowing the theory first. Scales, the 1, 4, 5s, the diatonic chords. You are going to be so much more powerful than the person that doesn't know it when you apply yourself. Some people are just naturally gifted. Yes, they whiz around the keys, they use their ear quite well, but without some theory, at least the basics that I'm showing you here, becomes very hard to transcend that, so that would be my recommendation. Start off at the top, try your best to understand, gradually work your way down. Subscribe to the channels at the top. It helps me to create more content like this for you. And then you can check out my music on Spotify, my music on YouTube. I am an experimenter. I like experimenting. So a lot of what I do these days has more technology in it. You might have seen me playing instruments that are generally not looked at as major keyboard instruments, like my guitar, like my mini Chords, and other synth instruments. I love to experiment. So if that's your thing, join the channel. Right? If learning any kind of music is your thing, I don't discriminate. I love all styles, everything from hard rock, reggae, soul, Afro beats, classical. I like them all. So if you are a lifelong learner of music and you want to join me on the adventures, just go to the top of this page right here on philc.net and join both channels. One channel focuses a lot on artificial intelligence and how you can use that from a more humanistic standpoint, give it more human oriented inputs. So if that's your thing, go to AI Music Law. And then the other channel is my personal channel for all things experiments and music. And I also have a website, phil-c.com. But this one is dedicated to teaching music basics. I am by far not even half as good as some of the keyboardists out there. But one thing I'm passionate about is giving to those who are trying to learn like I was. I was struggling. It is so sad to have a knowing of music, but not to be able to express it, not knowing what's happening. You're hearing chord changes, you don't know what they're called. You're hearing the bass. I used to love the sound of the bass, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know it was a bass guitar. I didn't know what it was. So my goal is to help as many people who want to learn, those people also who want to improvise. My goal is to help you to understand and learn how to improvise. If you search for Fearless Piano, I have many more videos. So if you click on more here, if you click on Fearless Piano Tutorials, it'll take you to a page still on the site where you can learn many more things. You can see I've got about 54 different videos here, and I'm teaching one discovery or another. Sometimes I'm using MIDI. A lot of times there's some theory videos in there, and other times it's just tips and tricks. So please hit the page, subscribe to the channels, watch the Fearless Piano series, and if you got any questions, do let me know. All right, thank you, and I wish you all the best in your music journey. Bye for now.